So when we're in economics and we're talking about pollution, we're talking about market failures, we're really talking about externalities. Externalities, a very vague word, could mean a lot of things, but it's specific in economic jargon to talk about things that are happening external to the market transaction. So this is the effect of a market exchange on a third party that's external to the exchange. Externalities are also called spillovers. Externalities can be negative or positive, right? A negative externality is when a third party, right, external to the transaction, that's where the term comes from, externality, suffers from the market transaction of others. And then obviously, right, we don't need to rewrite the whole dang thing, but we know that a positive externality is the opposite. It's when a third party, instead of suffers, benefits from a market transaction of others. So pollution is a negative externality. Pollution causes additional cost to third parties that are not part of the production process or not part of the market transaction. One of my favorite stories with externalities has to do with the logging industry and the waters that they used to pollute, right? With the sawdust and with the little chips of wood chips, right? The little parts of the particle board, or of the board and of the 2x4s and stuff like that, right? They didn't know what to do with them. They didn't want to take them and pay for them to be trashed in a dump because that cost money to ship them there and stuff like that. They were already located along riverways and waterways because they needed water for the logging, for the processing of the wood, right? And so they just dumped it in the water. Well, what did this do? This impacted the villages and cities that are downstream, right? And so, people that have been fishing their whole lives, and their parents' parents have been fishing, now all the fish are dead. Or the fish are, they have 3 eyes, or whatever the case may be, right? And so the government came in and they said, hey, you guys can't do this anymore. They didn't say exactly what they were supposed to do. They just said, you can't do this anymore. You can't put your sawdust and little wood chips into the river. You have to pay to get them taken away. So this started a budding industry of, people coming and picking it up and bringing it to the landfill, right? Well, this was also the time when there were advances in technology, right? There were advances in specifically material science technology, the type of glues that we had available. And some entrepreneur took a look at what was going on, took a look at the advances in the glue, and they started getting paid to take away the sawdust and the small parts of the board, and they took them, they pressed them all together with some of that glue, some pressure, heat, glue, and that's how we made particle board. That's where particle board came from. Was some entrepreneur figuring out what to do with this waste product. And so these additional external costs end up usually, these additional external costs end up being wrapped into the social costs. Sorry, the screen is not reacting.